Let's go on an adventure. The Stone Skimming World Championships. Today we start our journey. We spend a week travelling up to Easdale Island, having a great time and coming back. The competition, Saturday 6th of September. You have to use stones from the island. These are some I saved from last year. And they have to be no more than 3 inches in diameter, which is pretty small compared to the stones I usually skim. What's my prediction for the actual competition? Well, the lake itself is only 63 metres long, so it's a distance I can hit consistently, really very easily. It is a lot easier to be consistent when you're just hanging out by the river, having a great time by yourself. Except when I'm in this competition, and the last 2 years have shown me that for some reason I tend not to do very well here. So hopefully this year will be a better year for me, but it doesn't really matter because I'm having a lovely, lovely week skimming stones, travelling around and chatting to lovely people. The competition is a real bonus, and of course I'd love to win, but if I don't, it really doesn't matter, and I'm happy that someone else did. Let's have a look at last year's efforts and then compare them to this year's later. This competition has the famous back wall, which is 63 metres away, and the real goal is just to hit it with your stone inside those boundaries. You'll see here I missed once. I hit it the second time, but it was out, so it didn't count. And then this third skim, it was tense. It nearly went out, but it stayed in and it did hit that back wall. Is it okay that the World Championships takes place in a lake that's only 63 metres long, when there are some people out there who can skim getting on for 3 times that far? For me personally, I'd rather a longer lake because I can do more of my best skimming there. However, the 63 metre lake makes this accessible with reasonable chance of winning to a lot more people, because as long as you can skim 65 metres, you've got as much chance of winning as somebody who can skim way, way more than that. So it's a debate as to whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you can certainly argue that the fact that more people have a chance here makes it more exciting to the general public, and that is a good thing. Okay, we are ready to set sail on our trip to Scotland. Easdale Island. Got one wife, one dog, and this avid stone skimmer. Now, about an hour into the trip, we've travelled for about 10 minutes and bought a total of 4 coats between the 3 of us. Now we're going to get going properly. Wonderful weather for a long 10-hour drive.
Good job we bought all those coats.
Mm-hmm. This is Norman. He's our mascot, and he's going to guide us through this trip. We stopped off in Manchester to visit some amazing people, 2 of whom were dogs. Norman recommends I add a time lapse of us driving into Scotland, so here you go.
Hey Phil, aka Stone Skimmer.
Hi there.
Tell us, why are you driving 10 hours each way to Scotland to skim 3 stones?
Well, I love stone skimming, and there are only 2 competitions in the whole of the UK each year, and this is one of them. So we make this trip, we have a whole week, we don't rush, and I get to skim lots of stones and meet lots of great people. And I think one of the things that we all look forward to when we come to this competition is the crack of the stones as they hit that back wall.
And are you going to hit the back wall?
I mean, tomorrow, the day before the competition, you'll probably find I hit the back wall hundreds of times and probably hurt my shoulder doing it. Whereas during the competition, I tend to, I guess it's the pressure or something, I don't tend to do the best that I can. So there's a good chance I will not hit that back wall during the competition.
And who do you think's going to win?
There are so many good skimmers in both the male and female categories this year. I've got no idea. I think one of the cool things about this competition is that because the lake is only 63 metres long, the potential to win is available to so many more people. And I looked at the names last night, and of just the ones I recognised, there were at least 10 women who I know could hit that back wall, and at least 30 men who I know could, and therefore I have no clue. It's really exciting. That's not to mention all the dozens of names of people who can do it that I haven't heard of yet.
It's a bit far to go all that way, isn't it?
I mean, it is a big journey for us. It's a lot of fuel, it's a lot of time. We've got a dog now, so he has to sort of put up with it. But there are many, many people travelling significantly further from all over the world. So those are the ones who you've really got to admire. And why do you make the trip to Scotland each year?
Because I am a very loyal wife. Somebody has got to make sure that you don't get injured, or at least try to stop you from getting injured. And it's a nice day. It's a beautiful island, and it's a really lovely community.
She means injured by overthrowing stones, not that I'm just going to get mugged and beaten up in Scotland. This is Loch Lomond, where we stopped to give Merlin a little walk. We were hoping to skim some stones, but I don't really want to waste my stones on this ripply water. One of my homemade stones versus the waves of Loch Lomond. As you'd expect, it almost went into orbit. And on we drove through some really nice places, through Oban and on to Ellenabeich, which is the little bit just before you get to Easdale Island. And I don't know about everybody else, but when I go around this corner, it feels magical. We are here. We have arrived at our campsite, where we shall now spend the next 3 days. The campsite has this beautiful lake. It's slightly larger than the one that the championship takes place in, so it's a great place to practice. This is where we'll take the ferry from. We'll do some stone hunting today. We'll try really hard not to overdo it and ruin our shoulders. By our, I mean mine. Don't think anyone else is at much risk. But I find that it's such a nice place to skim stones. I will probably skim way more than I should today. And that will mean that tomorrow my shoulder doesn't feel very happy. I've arrived on Easdale Island. Very exciting when you get here. You're greeted with this magical haven of skimming stones. Obviously that's quite a big one, but you can see the quality, and it's all over the island. Easdale Island is one of the greatest places on this planet for skimming stones. I mean, you could pick up in seconds loads of stones that are genuinely pretty good. Easdale slate is amazing, but how are we going to do with this piece of other Scotland stone? Will this skim? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a bad throw. Here we are, looking for some stones. Got Merlin, my wife Beth, Neris, got rock skipping pro Kyle, and we've got Kyle's fiancée Lorraine, having a wonderful time here in Scotland. This is a secret lake on the other side of Easdale Island. It's about twice the size and more protected. However, it's not as accessible to the general public. 3, 2, 1. Trees. Here we are trying our best to rest our shoulders the day before the competition. I got short-term obsessed with trying to skim from here. I tried quite a few times and I kind of got the hang of nearly doing it by the end.
Yes. Merlin, snoot.
And then it was back to hunt for more competition stones. Checking that our stones are within the right size. That's too big. They need to be no bigger than 3 inches at their widest point. They need to fit through there comfortably. And the stones are measured on the day, so you can't get away with any funny business. Merlin's first time on a boat. Not entirely sure what's going on. I've decided these are too light. It's going to be quite windy and ripply, I think. So these are at risk of just disappearing into the water. These are slightly too big. These are the ones I'm choosing from. This is an example of a really good stone. It's got a nice flat bottom. It's got a thickness to it that gives it some density against the current and the wind. It's at risk of dipping into the water because of that sharpness. But other than that, it's really cool. And my favourite one is this one. That is probably going to be my favourite stone. We've just got to go for one sleep. Hello, Merlin. It's a playful pup. One sleep, and then it's the World Championships. Just decided it'd be a really good addition to this video to film us travelling over on the ferry. So use your imagination, and here we are.
What's happening here?
Sort of congregation of people who are hanging about. I forgot to record this bit too, so this is me going back in and pretending I'm just about to register. This is where we register. Not too early, not too late. Here we are, the early birds, enjoying this cold, cold breeze and the drizzle. But at the moment the wind is blowing this way, which means the lake is still fairly sheltered. So the wind may turn over some stones, but at least the surface of the water isn't dreadful at the moment. This is Neris laughing at herself for doing a cute little airplane noise, but we didn't even hear it, did we?
This is Phil, hunting for the best competition stone.
That's right, I'm hunting again. I spend most of my time here just looking for good stones. I have had to mute this clip because bagpipes played at 10 times speed do not sound good. And this is where Merlin spent most of the day, really cosy in there.
It is time for battle. Welcome to the World Stone Skimming Championships 2025! We are back. Bigger than ever, the biggest, the greatest, the best stone throwing competition in the world. 400 tossers on show today.
Here goes my wife. She came second last year, and even though these are really good skims, they are not the best she's done. She has done 48 metres here, at least, and probably more when we're just skimming for fun. Oh, not her best. Nice. Woo! And in contrast to that, here goes Neris. Last year, she tanked, messed up her skims. This year, she did really well. She actually came third, joint third with someone else who also did better than they expected. Oh, the lake took it. The lake monster had it.
Next up, 162. Instagram's at Stone Skimmer. Please give it up from Wales. It's Phil Blotton.
So there's a good chance I will not hit that back wall during the competition. I guess it's the pressure or something. I don't tend to do the best that I can. For some reason, I tend not to do very well here. Yeah, that's a good. Two back walls and a valid okay skim is much better than I usually do. So although I can still do better, my consistency is improving, which is great because I thought I was cursed here. So let's see how I did in the 3-stone toss-off, which is the second round that everyone who got a back wall gets to enter. These were the best of the stones I had left. There are the stones. I still hadn't chosen at this point. I had 5 with me. And the format of this one is that your 3 skims, the total score of the distance, is your score. So my first skim, a very satisfying back wall, a really nice skim, which surprised me. I thought I was going to mess all 3 up. And at this point I'm thinking, maybe I'm going to do okay today and not mess up any of my stones apart from that one. and that went out, so there's a 0 score for that one. And then this skim was just, you know, it was an okay skim, but the fact that I got no points for that second one kind of knocks me out of the competition. And this face perfectly captures how it feels to mess up for no reason. And then one of my favourite parts of the whole day is once the competition's over, the pressure's off, it's just to stand here and skim some stones. I usually do quite well. I skimmed way too many stones, it destroyed my shoulders for days, but I really made friends with that back wall. So after enough back walls to satisfy me, Beth and Neris and Merlin having left some time ago, I grabbed myself a boat and disappeared off the island. It's always a sad time when you wake up and realise you've got to leave this place and head on home. We stopped at the Falls of Falach. This is not a very dog-friendly bridge, but Beth scooped him up and we all enjoyed the view. And then, after one more night spent at a lovely campsite with a cool lake to skim in, we just drove home.